Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam McKola, he is Statman Dave. We are joined by Stephen Howson and of course Rory from the CFC Fan TV channel. And we are here for Chelsea against Manchester United. The preview, before we go any further though, this preview does have a cheeky commercial seal. We are sponsored by Sky Bet. And we have some interesting polls going down this week. All you have to do is head over to our Twitter page to vote in the poll and you can pick the betting option for this weekend. It will be offered on the market by Sky Bet and you can get on it. Remember, 18 plus, T's and C's apply. The one I'm going for, you can check out the other options. I'm going for Pogba to score from outside the penalty area.
Decent. Get involved.
I think Pogs is going to score. Whether we win, lose or draw, that's a good possibility. But anyway, let's get stuck into the preview. We are talking Chelsea against Manchester United. We've got so much to talk about today. We are talking Jose Mourinho first. Obviously, before the international break against Newcastle United, there were reports that regardless of the result of that game, he would be sacked. Now, obviously, 3 points came. Does paper over the cracks a little bit, so that pressure still is there. Huge fixtures coming up next as well. Does playing Chelsea matter more than other games to Jose, do you think? And do you think this game is make or break for Jose? Or are we past that point now? Steve?
No, I don't think it is make or break unless we get embarrassed. I think that the board will probably allow him, going down fighting against Chelsea and possibly even against Juventus as well. But if we see performance like we saw in the first half against Newcastle, we ain't coming back from that against a team like Chelsea. So I think that the chances are we could get embarrassed and it could be the last time that we see Jose Mourinho at Manchester United this weekend. But I don't necessarily think it's make or break. I honestly feel like it's becoming a matter of time kind of thing now. Like, how long is he going to hang on before the axe falls? And I hope it's not against Chelsea. I really don't. But I feel like at some point over the next 6 matches, it's going to happen.
So you think it's a case of the performance rather than the result will be the key factor in him keeping his job or not? You agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's all about the performance. I think the second half Newcastle, if we can replicate that in 38 games in a season, you win the league. But that's the problem. It's the inconsistencies of United, and whether that's down to the players, Mourinho, or the collective as a team, which it is. There's the issues there, and I think I kind of agree with Steve. It's kind of, I don't feel it will be Chelsea. I don't think it will be Juventus, but potentially will happen in the near future if things don't change.
As a United fan, do you think things will change with Jose Mourinho?
You always want things to be positive, don't you? You always want things to get better. You want things to improve. You want Man United to go back to the days of winning titles and playing some really good football. That's what you want. Whether that's with Mourinho, whether another manager, with whatever, that's just what you want as a football fan, as a Man United fan. You just want to see some goals.
It would be nice to see a couple of goals. That's why that performance against Newcastle, second half, 20 minutes to go, it felt good to be a Manchester United fan when you see those kind of things on the pitch. Rory, from the outside looking in, and obviously as well, you've got your history with Jose. Do you, as a Chelsea fan, turning up to this game on the weekend, is it in the back of your mind that you guys could get him sacked? And do you want to be the team that gets him sacked? Is that where your relationship is with Jose, do you think?
No, talking personally, absolutely not. I won't take much joy in Mourinho being sacked. Don't get me wrong, I don't love him the way I once did, but I'll forever be grateful for what he achieved. He took me to places I never ever thought I'd go. When Lampard rounded Jääskeläinen at Reebok, it was because of Jose Mourinho, and that memory will forever be with me. He's won 3 Premier League titles for Chelsea, and I think sometimes people need to remember just what he achieved at Stamford Bridge before they let the venom carry on. But don't get me wrong, if we can beat you 4-0 and he becomes a casualty of that, then so be it. But that's not the point. The point is to beat Manchester United and to achieve 3 points.
So beating United is more important than beating Mourinho at the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say as a neutral, you're obviously not a neutral, but as someone on the outside looking in, what do you think has gone wrong for Jose? And do you see any similarities with the Jose Mourinho in his latter stages at Chelsea?
Yes, mate, and that's why, if I were you, I'd be slightly worried, because I think that you can kind of draw a line in the sand, can't you, of Mourinho, kind of pre and post Real Madrid. And pre-Madrid, he was like this young, daring, handsome, like innovative guy who pioneered a new system of management. Post-Madrid, it's always been a little bit hard work. He's been a little bit angry. He looks old. He looks bored. He looks aggressive. And a few things I've seen. Do you know the big example? I can remember in about 2007, just before it went really wrong for Chelsea in his first period, we went to Wickham. We played Wickham away in the League Cup semi-final, and we played this is purely because we didn't sign Tal Ben Haim. He was desperate to sign Ben Haim from Bolton for about 500 grand. The board wouldn't sanction it. The board wouldn't do it, and as a result, he played Michael Essien and Paulo Ferreira centre halves, and it went wrong. We drew 1-1 away, and he's done something like that with you, hasn't he? He's kind of stuck two fingers up at the board. And I just thought, when he starts playing players out of position, when he has options on the bench, it's history repeating itself. And look, if there's the man that can get you out of this mire is definitely Mourinho. But I think partly the reason that you're in this mire is Jose Mourinho.
Interesting. Do you agree with him, guys?
I think it's an interesting one with the whole playing players out of position in positions. We've seen Eric Bailly being United's best centre-back in recent years, and then we see him play really poorly at times, and it's like that. If you've not signed me a centre-back, we'll throw someone else there, like a Scott McTominay, under the bus type thing, which isn't great, but at the same time, like Mourinho, every single time he's gone down this path where he's exploded, he's not been backed by a board, and it's kind of like, you should know that.
It reminds me of me when I was a little kid. I was the only...
When you don't get all those toys,
I was the only child for a long time.
What do you mean when you was a little kid?
Yeah, so now, just before we started this video.
And if I didn't get what I'd want, I'd break what I have. And that seems like what Jose Mourinho's doing. You never get me a new centre half, so I'll just break these two then.
Exactly. Well, what they've just touched on there about McTominay and potentially throwing him under the bus, I've seen that all before. I remember with Joe Cole, Mourinho brought Joe Cole on away at Fulham at Craven Cottage, and he brought him on and then subbed the sub. And some people see that as a moment in Joe Cole's career that he never recovered from. When Joe Cole was brought on and 15 minutes later hauled off, that was him throwing Joe Cole under the bus, and arguably he didn't recover. It's kind of what he did with McTominay, subbing him off early or whatever. It is history repeating itself on certain occasions.
Just before the comments kill Rory, he subbed Bailly off early, left McTominay in at centre half.
That's it, but
when he was out of position and out of his depth, and Jose looking out of his mind. But we did go on to win the game, so maybe he was right to do that. Anyway, moving on from that and to a man that has been the bright spark.
Ooh, a bright spark.
I was about to say spark and spot at the same time.
Bright
Came out
spot.
a bit wrong.
Okay.
English isn't my first language, don't worry about that. Anyway, Luke Shaw has been fantastic for United this season. Got a call up back to the England squad. And of course, is on the verge, if you believe reports, of signing a new deal at Manchester United. Are you happy for him?
Yeah, of course. You've got to be happy with guys that seem like they're out of the club or they're not going to make it anymore, and then they turn around with sheer hard work. That's what Man United is. It's a team where it should be that hard work, and that's the principles of the club. It's hard-working players, and like Luke Shaw, who's been our best player this season, you've got to say, there's been players that have been good, hot and cold. Him and Pogba, yeah, but Pogba's been pretty off in some games, where Luke Shaw's been consistently United's best player, and I think it's testament to him as a player. I think he's been improving going into the final third. He looks fit. It's kind of like Wayne Rooney, where he needs a run of games to get back up to that level, but now he's at this level, fantastic. Don't have to spend 60, 70 million on a new left-back.
What do you reckon, Steve?
He's recaptured that form pre-leg break, and I honestly, God, did not believe he had it in him. I really thought it had passed for him, that he wasn't going to be able to recapture that level of form anymore, but he did. And he not only has he done it, he's done it with a couple of seasons of Jose seemingly not fancying him. He came out and said, it was Luke Shaw's body, but with my brain and stuff. I think, is he calling him thick there? What's that all about? He comes in for a game, he plays well, back out again. And then you saw everything that was going on over the summer. The photos that came out and all the rest of it. And then it felt like too little, too late. Oh, he's gone Dubai to do a bit of pre-season training, has he? But he's proved everybody wrong, and he seems to have sorted it out. Hopefully, the new contract is now the spur on for him to kick on and go to the next level, because he's still got a lot of potential in him. And I hope it's not the end game and he reverts back to being the player that he was 6-7 months ago.
That's one thing that I'm worried about. Because I'm a huge fan of Luke Shaw. I really want him to succeed at United, because I do think he can be the best left back in the Prem. But how much of this is him cracking on and the penny dropping in his career, and how much of this is him saying, "Raw, my contract's coming up for renewal soon. I need to get back at this and earn a new contract." Is he going to have that fall off when he gets that new contract? I hope not. Rory. Luke Shaw was linked with Chelsea
Yeah.
I remember
Chelsea
Mourinho
fan,
was a
I think.
manager
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
time.
Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
Do you know what I find really fascinating there? Just hearing Howson there waxing lyrical about the former Luke Shaw, and you saying that it's either Luke Shaw or Pogba that are the best players for you so far this season. Do you know what's fascinating about that? From the outside looking in, of course, they're the two players that Mourinho's hung out to dry the most. It's funny that they're the two players that...
Do you know if he says
motivate
something
people,
nice
right?
about someone, they are finished. He said nice things about Memphis, Schneidlin, Schweinsteiger, Rooney. You are absolutely finished if he's nice about you. So, like, you should be thankful if he's cussing you out in public, because I think you're going to have a decent life with it.
But yeah, I like Shaw, and I certainly wanted Chelsea to get hold of him when he was up for sale. I think there's a connection. He's a Chelsea fan, and it's only good for the English national team if Luke Shaw is finding his feet at Manchester United. So
you're someone that goes to the games and follows England a lot as well as Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you think that spot is his there for the taking?
It's his if he can find any form at all. He's the first player that you want to have it. He's the most natural left-sided left back that we have. So we certainly want it to be Shaw. The trouble is, if he's not on form, we then start looking to Ashley Young.
No.
And I know it's not a natural fit, is it? I like Young. I thought he did well for England during the World Cup, but it's certainly not the dream. So yeah, a fit Luke Shaw is excellent for England.
It's Howson's dream, that is. Ashley Young.
Wet dream.
Ashley Young got left back. Yeah.
Right, understood.
Anyway, predicted 11 times now, and the table is looking interesting. Somehow Mo Butt's still number 1 on the list, but he's only been in one preview. He did get 10 that time. Cheek Sport Dave, Simon Preston on 9, Dale's on 8.8. He's probably top because he's had the most appearances. You're just behind him, Steve, on 8.6.
Excuse me, you're forgetting Statman Dave, 8.6.
Oh, yeah.
Not Stephen Howson, 8.3.
Those two are tied.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry,
man.
6 points, lads.
It's a big one.
Being
Big
a bit
game.
racist there, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, sorry. You do all look the same to me. Anyway. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Move on.
I'll go to Rory second. We'll
Yep.
break up the United 11s. Steve, you've been quiet for a bit, which is unusual. Can we have your 11, please?
I ummed and ahed about going with a 3 at the back because I think against a team like Chelsea, where you're probably going to expect to concede a serious amount of possession, that would probably be the best thing. But I think he probably also wants to try and pack that midfield a little bit. And I don't think you can just sit in Hazard's pocket and hope for the best. I think you've also got to cut the supply to him a little bit. So I reckon you do that by being a bit fuller in midfield. And I also thought that there's no way he's going to drop Sanchez. So I needed 3 slots up front. Otherwise, I was just going to stick 2. So I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. I'm going to go with Big Dave in net, surprisingly. I would have gone with the low, but it sounds like he's got a knock this week. So unfortunately, we're going to have to see Tony Valencia again. Although this game might suit him a little bit better, actually, because he probably is just going to be defending for 90 minutes. Smalling alongside Lindelof, that seems to be Jose's preferred centre-half partnership at the moment. Luke offshore at left-back, absolutely. Matic, I don't believe the reports that he's got a knock. I think he'll probably be fit. So if he's fit, he plays. That's the dance. Paul Pogba and Ander Herrera. Hopefully he can do the same sort of job he did on Hazard a couple of years ago at Old Trafford. Up front then, Sanchez on the right, hopefully. Tony Marshall on the left. And hopefully he can continue some of the decent form that we've seen. Some people have over-egged it a little bit, but it's been decent. I'd like to see it continue. And Lukaku up front, even though I think he's desperate for a rest. If he's fit, he's going to play. And I expect Jose to set this team up to just completely defend. If he's not going to get sacked, obviously they've not come out and officially said this, but it's my own take on it is he's not going to get sacked unless we get embarrassed. He's just going to go 11 men behind the ball. You ain't never going to see bus parking like this, I reckon.
Beautiful. That's what we want. Park the bus, Adam McKola.
Do you know what,
Rory,
we are the early kick-off, which means that we could be everyone's coupon buster and somehow get a result here.
Who's going to put us in the bet?
Me! I'm going to bet us to lose and have my bet go down first time again. Booyah!
Rory,
Yep.
I seen you, before we get your 11, you quoted one of my Matchday Matt tweets about Matic recently.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I know.
right,
I've got to do it.
laughing
I
at
don't
it.
want to be that guy, but I've got to do it.
No,
yeah.
but I just want to, What are your thoughts on? Because the thoughts I have, I was going to say we, but I speak for myself, is that if he wasn't overplayed so much by Mourinho, he would be better in the games he does play. But I think because he's played so much, he suffers. His consistency suffers. In his last stages at Chelsea, you seem to want rid of him.
Yeah. That was it. We did. I certainly did. But it wasn't because I didn't think he was a good football player. I just didn't think he was right for us. I thought he'd come to a time where the game was passing him by. He's so pedestrian, and you know, in terms of like injecting some momentum into the game, he's the exact opposite of that. He takes a sting out of every game, which there's a time and a place for that. But the time and a place is away at the Nou Camp when you're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, not at home to Brighton when it's 0-0 with 15 to go. And that's what was happening. Every time we got a bit of momentum, we'd break away. It would fall to Matic. He'd have an extra touch and lay it back to the centre half, and you're back to square one. So I find him a good footballer, but I find him quite an uninspiring footballer.
Rory, your 11, please.
It's pretty standard for assists. There's only 2 points for debate, but it will go Arrizabalaga in goal. He's been a revelation, actually. I was delighted the way that he's replaced Courtois, and yeah, I think we've actually improved in that position. We'll play 4 at the back, and it will be David Luiz alongside Tony Rudiger, and it will be Marcos Alonso left back with Cesar Azpilicueta right back. Very solid, playing very well. I'm really happy with that. It then goes off 3 central midfielders, and now I think you can make a case for this 3 being the best midfield in world football. It's Kovacic, it's N'Golo Kante, and this is like the point where there's potentially some debate. It's going to be Jorginho.
Oh my God! I thought you was going to say Barkley was in the best midfield 3 in the world, Rory.
Well, do you know what? We actually did a video on the channel that I do with Sophie where we had a debate over who should start this week. Should it be Kovacic or should it be Barkley? And I said Kovacic without a debate at all. And Sophie was arguing for Barkley. And I actually lost the debate. The comments sided with Barkley, which is bonkers to me. But
YouTube commenters, not the place you go to for reason debate.
Absolutely, Steve. Yeah, hit the nail on the head. No, you're absolutely right. But and then up front, it's going to be this. So that's one debate. Should it be Barkley or Kovacic? For me, the answer is undoubtedly Kovacic. And then slightly further forward, I think it has to go Pedro on the right, go Eden Hazard on the left. And for me, it's Olivier Giroud up front, not Alvaro Morata.
I hate playing against Pedro.
Yeah, he's sneaky, isn't he?
He's so
Sneaks
good.
in the box, scores some goals.
He loves a goal. He loves a big goal. And I think that he's playing so well because you've got to remember the system that we now play is a system that he spent half his life playing. So he is feeling very at home at the moment and is actually keeping Willian out the side.
Some interesting things there. Best midfield 3 in the world. I'm not having that, Rory. That was after you said Eden Hazard was the best player in the world before he went on this scoring
Best
run.
midfield 3, Matic, McTominay, and Fellaini.
Dave, that's not me being bonkers, is it? There's you can make a case for Chelsea, those 3 midfielders being the best 3.
No, but at the same time, N'Golo Kante isn't working in this system. It's not to his natural game. You see him positionally, he's very unaware of what to do. It's not his game to move off the ball and receive in between the lines, which...
He's played further up the field, hasn't he?
Yeah, again, it's not his fault. He's a wonderful player, but for him being in that midfield with Kovacic and Jorginho, like Kovacic is in and out the side with Barkley, that one position, like you said, there's 2 players there, so for me, can't be the best if they're not like every single week playing. Because I think Barkley does well against the weaker sides, Kovacic comes in and plays well against the United's, Liverpool's, right?
It's a good point, well made. I'll take it back.
Don't listen to Dave, chat's rubbish. Anyway, before we go to Dave's 11, can I just let you guys know this preview was recorded before the press conference. So if Jose said Romelu Lukaku is going to play in goal, McTominay is going to start at centre half, we didn't know it yet. So apologies for that. Dave, you're 11.
Well, I'm going to go 4-3-3. It's same as Howson. De Gea in goal. Going to go Young at the back with Smalling and Nemanja Matic as centre half. It's coming. It is definitely coming. Second half against Newcastle was pretty decent there.
I'm not even going on Saturday, man. Forget
then I reckon Fellaini defensive midfield, Herrera, Pogba, then the 3 of Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku and Anthony Martial.
What's your reasoning behind playing Fellaini, Dave?
Because he's been reasonably decent at defensive midfield, and I think if you cut out the space, Fellaini could probably drop.
Hold on.
Fellaini's been reasonably decent, I'll give you that. But,
so hang
on, can I just go on this Fellaini point now, please?
Yeah, go on.
So Fellaini has been reasonably good at teams that play direct football. We're playing a team that's going to pass the ball so much on the floor, they're going to create grooves in the ground.
Stephen, this point here, It says in the leaderboard that I have an average of 8.6 points and you have an average of 8.4 points.
Don't look
I'm
at my
picking.
iPad.
I'm picking the expected 11. I wouldn't play this team. Got to see where I would play. Go onto the Statman Dave YouTube channel and watch my little tactical preview of how I would play. This is how Mourinho plays.
The YouTube channel.
Can you shut up a second? I'm just asking you what tactical reasoning there is behind playing Fellaini, who struggles against a team that plays quick one-touch
He's got
football in and
news
around
of
the box.
Jose Mourinho. That
Against
is
a
why.
team that's going to play quick one-touch football in and around the box. It makes no sense to
My
do that.
midfield would be Fred Pogba and they'd play Alexis Sanchez as a number 10, but that's my midfield. That's not Mourinho's expected predicted 11, the game we're playing, Howson.
But all I will say is Anthony Marshall needs to start. Especially after you saved your boy's job. Like, he's got to start. If it wasn't for Marshall, your man would be in the dole queue right now. Let's be real. Let's
Not
be
be on
real.
holiday.
Definitely going to start because he's one of the few that's been at home training all week, so he's definitely going to start.
Tony Marshall starts again.
With Marouane Fellaini midfield, beautiful.
Jesus Christ, give him a chance to do something, for God's sake.
He's not even getting into why playing young, so...
Because Mourinho is picking, man. It's a game.
Because apparently, Valencia's been out here liking posts and doing all sorts of that. He's seemingly fallen out of the manager. If Jose can play Ashley Young, he will. Put left back Luke Shaw.
You said Delos picked up a knock. There's only one player to play there.
We're going to get about 15% possession. Do you really want it to go to Ashley Young to sling in a no-look
I'm not
pass
saying this is not 11.
into
This is
top six,
Mourinho's
top tier of
11.
the stand? Useless.
Tell us more about Ashley Young, Steve.
No.
Do you want him on your podcast or anything like that? Ever?
No.
Would you cuddle him?
I love you, Ashley Young. Even if I don't think you're a great footballer at the moment, I still love you. You're a good lad, innit? We're going to talk to Rory, who's also a nice lad. He's a Chelsea fan as well.
Good link, that. Very good link.
And he's going to come straight through with the facts then about Chelsea.
Oh.
Go on, Rose. This is your time to shine, baby.
What am I talking? Have I missed something? What should I be talking about?
Just Chelsea. What's going on?
Chelsea,
Your
going
season
well.
started very well. You're joint top of the league.
Going very well. Joint top of the league. Playing some really attractive stuff. I think if you saw our game against Southampton, I can see that they were average. But before Morata's goal, there were 31 passes, which is, it's lovely for us to watch because we haven't seen football like that for a long time, not since probably Ancelotti's double winning year. So it's a happy place at the moment. The players seem really up for it, really, really happy. Fans are completely on board, and Sarri is flavour of the month. Very, very pleased.
What have you made of what differences have Sarri made to the team from the Conte? Like, what could we expect differently from the Conte Chelsea?
Oh, mate, it's chalk and cheese. In terms of systems, it's chalk and cheese. So Conte was very stable, built on not conceding and then going for the jugular with Diego Costa or somebody leading the line like that. Whereas now it's very much it'll all go through Jorginho. We're looking to score the perfect goal at all times. We rarely give the ball away. We start building from the back, and it's interesting. And it does just seem like a happy place because everything that he's done, Sarri, is to try and create a happy vibe. So they don't start training now until 9:30, which means that the players could do the school run. Those ridiculous rules that Antonio Conte imposed, banning ketchup, banning fizzy drinks. That's all done away with. So as long as you're not an idiot, you've got as many chips as you want.
It's like David Moyes is back.
Yeah, it's no. You have exactly what you want. You're treated like an adult. You don't start work till 9:30, so you can do the school run, and it's a happy place. People are definitely all pulling in the same direction for a change.
Eden Hazard at the moment, Rory.
Unplayable, absolutely unplayable. He's in the form of his life. He's top of the goal scoring chart. And I said it to Dave a little while ago, and he laughed at me when I said that he's a contender for a Ballon d'Or. Dave laughed me out of the room, but I'm beginning to think that he's going to change his mind. Maybe.
Now the Ballon d'Or is from year to year, right? So Hazard hasn't won a Champions League. He hasn't won the World Cup. So therefore can't really be there because he's not been within the best side and he's not the best player within that side. Don't get me wrong, he's absolutely on fire this season. I think he's playing some really good stuff. He's
Do
a
you
lot
think
quicker.
he could be one of the ones to next win a Ballon d'Or when it's not Ronaldo or Messi?
No, because he's at the wrong age. That's the problem. Like, he's going to be in that generation of Ronaldo and Messi for the rest of his life. He's not going to get out of that generation.
He's a few years younger than him. He's like 5 years
Ronaldo and
younger.
Messi's not going to be winning Ballon d'Ors.
But then what I mean
the
there
next
is
two
like
years.
as soon as they're gone, you got Kylian Mbappe coming in. Neymar's going to be at the right age.
He's got about 2 years to do it, realistically, really. But,
Dave, is this a fair statement? I'm just going to choose a period of time to suit my argument, which drives me mad.
From last Thursday to this Friday, when Eden Hazard had scored 13 goals in 2 games, should he win the Ballon d'Or?
Talk!
when you're talking to Tottenham fans, they always go post-war, or when you're talking to Man City fans, they always go Premier League era or whatever. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to go, if you just go from the start of the World Cup.
Where are you finding City fans?
So I know one.
Whatever.
If you go from start of the World Cup, the day the World Cup started to today, Eden Hazard is the best player in the world. Is that fair?
Kylian Mbappe.
Harsh.
The thing for Hazard with me, big fan of his, think he's an absolute baller. But I think the thing that separated him from, I'm not going to say Ronaldo or Messi because they separate themselves from everybody, but from being the best player in the world after those has been his goal conversion rate and his assist rate.
Which
I felt like that's let him down a lot.
But that's changed this season. He's top of the league on that.
No, I know he is now, but it's
early
October,
days.
November, you know what I mean?
Basically, he wasn't shooting enough. That was his big problem. He doesn't shoot enough. This season, he's averaging about 3 shots per game. Over his Chelsea career, he's averaging 2 shots per game. So this season as well, out of the 3 shots, 2 within the penalty area. You see he's very clean. He's taken 2 touches. Before, he'd take like 5 or 6. So technically, he's improved under Sarri. And I think that's credit to the Italian manager. And I think that's the improvement that could take him there if he can consistently score goals week in, week out. But we'll see if when he hits a bad patch of form, whether he can recover. Because the best, keep going.
Agreed.
True say, Beyonce.
All the single ladies.
Steve, what do you think of Chelsea? Who are you worried about?
It's Hazard. There's nobody else. Jorginho is going to have a massive impact on the game, and I think you could put someone and try and be a bit physical with him. Interested to see how teams are actually going to figure him out, because he will get figured out at some point, and there will be a strategy to try and limit his impact on a game, but it's not really happened just yet. So I am interested to see how that goes down. I'm amazed that Sarri's managed to get such a different style of play into the Chelsea team with so many key players being involved in the World Cup, and him not even being there the day pre-season started. So I am massively impressed with how they've managed to turn the system around completely. And you've got to give him absolute props for doing that. I think we're going to go here and absolutely struggle. I really do. I think they're hitting such good form, and if I had my choice, they'd be the ones that win the league at the end of the season for obvious reasons.
Same.
So
thank you. That's reciprocated as well.
Apart from United, obviously. Are we still in the race?
United.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not in the race, mate. We're not even tying our
Cardiff is
shoelaces.
still in the
We're
race,
already on the second lap,
technically.
man.
It's October. If you don't deserve to get sacked for that, I don't know what you deserve to get sacked for. Statman daddy.
Yeah.
You got any stats for us about Chelsea, or I don't know, something you've prepared something, haven't you?
Nah, nothing, mate. Jorginho's pretty decent. Hazard scores goals. Simple as that, right?
They're the threats.
That's it, man.
Do
Deal
you
with them,
think
deal
it's
with Chelsea.
possible with this, the way this Chelsea is? Because Steve earlier when he picked his team, bless you, Rory. Steve earlier when he picked his team, he said Herrera to do a job on Hazard. Do you think the way this team is set up that we would be able to? How would we?
You shouldn't do that anymore. Rory will probably talk about this, but Hazard drifts towards the ball now. If you have a man-to-man job on him, it's opening up space behind our midfield, which Chelsea are really quick at bypassing midfields this season. They'll hit Giroud's feet and they'll play off him, layoffs, and then they're in between the lines. If you have someone following Eden Hazard around the game, that makes that so easy. And I think credit to Eden Hazard as well in the FA Cup final. He realised that Herrera was man marking him, so he pulled on to Phil Jones, the opposite side of where Herrera's starting position was. Then they had the 1v1, won the penalty, scored the goal. So I think man marking Eden Hazard now should not be a tactic from Manchester United. It should be more about zonally dealing with him and getting many and slowing him down. The reason why he's been good, as I mentioned before, it's the 2 touches. If you slow him down and make him take more touches by getting men around him, that's how you kill him. And foul him, consistently foul him. As soon as he gets head of steam, bring him down.
Sounds like a job for Fellaini.
Beautiful.
Anyway, moving on to score predictions. Stephen Howson, what's your score prediction for this game?
I think we're going to lose. I think it'll be 2-1. But it could be... Here's the mad thing coming into all of these games as a United fan at the moment, is that because you know what the team is capable of on one hand, and you also know how bad the team is capable of being on the other hand, and you don't know which attitude the team is walking out onto the pitch with because of all the goings on around the club at the moment. So it's really hard to try and predict. Yeah, do you know what? Like I jokingly said earlier, we are the early kickoff. We could be a coupon buster. And I absolutely believe that. I'm not even just saying that for a laugh. I absolutely believe we could get a result at Chelsea.
What? You predicted a Chelsea win?
But I am predicting a Chelsea win because I think that logic, reason, the fact that they're in good form, they're in good spirits, they're coming into this game with a lot of momentum, which matters. Unless there's something drastic happens between now and kickoff on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, I don't see how United can just turn up, play the way they've been playing. And we've had some good halves of performances. Like the first half against Spurs was an excellent performance. Second half against Newcastle was an excellent performance. But 45 minutes is not going to be enough against a team like Chelsea, who are, potentially going to be champions-elect.
That's a load of United winning 2-1.
Who's scoring goals? What minute?
Marouane Fellaini, first minute.
Yeah.
United will sit back, counter-attack. Jorginho from the edge of the box. And then...
What minute, Jorginho?
32.
Yeah.
Then it'll be Lukaku, winner.
Ooh.
In front of his old turf. 91st minute.
It wouldn't surprise me if United got a 1-0 with Lukaku scoring the way the last couple of weeks have gone.
Yeah.
But I too don't think we'll win. I do feel... If I was going to bet on this game, I would bet on Chelsea, but I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. Rory.
I'm terrified of the comments here, but I've boxed myself into a corner. I did a video with Akeem, and he was driving me mad. So I said Chelsea are going to win 4-0, and it'd be ridiculous of me to change my mind on a different video.
That has happened while we've been on the
Do
show,
it, spread your bets.
Oh yeah, in that case I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. In that case, hopefully 4-0 or 2-1. He was driving me mad though. You know what he's like. You know when he just provoked me. He provoked me, and I started going Chelsea going to win 4-0. I didn't even think that.
You got to remember, Sarri's a bit of a bottle job in these bigger games.
What does he eat cigarettes?
Eats cigarettes, bottles games against big managers. Simple 2-1 win.
I don't know. It's harsh. I think all that Sarri and the lack of silverware and whatever. I don't pay it too much attention. The worst manager I've ever seen in the Abramovich era was Phil Scolari, and he'd won the World Cup. So the silverware thing. Also, Sarri got 91 points in Italy with Napoli. It's not his fault that Juventus are that good.
But he had the lead going into the last few weekends of the Serie A. He had like a 4-point lead and bottled it because he's a bottle job, Rory. He's a little bit like our old friend Rafa Benitez at Liverpool.
He's not my friend.
Chelsea fans hate Rafa, Anyway, that's been a good show, isn't it? Enjoyed that. Hopefully we enjoyed the 90 minutes on Saturday even more, but got a funny feeling we won't. Let us know how you guys are feeling in the comments below, and make sure you go over and check out Rory's channel, CFC Fan TV. He's got his preview and everything going down over there. We'll do a Fancam together on the weekend as well. Go and check out Stephen Howson's channel. The link is in the description below, as is Statman Dave's. And of course, keep it locked to Full-Time Devils, because we'll be back with so much more around the game. Fancams after, team news before. Everything.
All the good stuff, right?
Cannot wait. Anyway, we've been Full-Time Devils. We're out of here.